Lost Eidolons. We're going with Lost Eddies. I don't know how to pronounce the name. But boys, Lost Eddies better than Fire Emblem. Why? Why? Let's get right into it. Two things I have to preface before we get into this video. Number one, this game is developed by some backwater, no-name Ocean Drive, alright? They only have 187 followers on Steam, okay? This is their only game they've released, okay? Number two, I am a massive Fire Emblem fan. I was playing Japanese Fire Emblem before it even came to the West, downloaded from MySpace off a dial-up internet, finding out about this game, okay? So, I'm not hating on Fire Emblem, but we're just drawing comparisons for the obvious reason that these games are very comparable. Ironically, though, the comparisons begin and end at the worst parts of Fire Emblem. But we'll get back to that. You guys know I don't like to waste your time, so we're gonna get right into it. This game, graphics-wise, I'm not a huge graphics guys. You guys know that by now, I'm sure. I'm all about the gameplay. But this game is crispy. Look at these sharp edges. This game looks fantastic, okay? Every NPC has a unique, nice looking face. They don't look like a bunch of weirdos. They all look like realistic people, not over the top, just normal but unique, good looking people. Some people you'd see possibly on a nice Sunday stroll. The animations are smooth. It has an anime style fighting thing going for it. It looks very, very good. One complaint I have though is in the camp. Sometimes when this game is dark, it is fucking dark. And no matter how bright you make this fucking thing, you're in the fucking dark. Load times are fantastic. There are no load times. Seamlessly the cutscenes are seamless. Going to mini cutscenes, seamless. Incredibly well done. Graphics, guys, incredible. Music, not bad, not particularly good. It's there, does what it needs to do. Audio, voice acting and audio, guys, tremendous. I saw some people complain about the voice acting. I think it's fantastic. Everybody talks in a believable way. It's not over the top. It's just normal talking, and it's good. I really know what to say to comment on voice acting. You just have to listen for yourself. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. Matter of fact, what qualifies some Steam reviewer to even comment on the voice acting? It's good. The end. Speaking of Steam reviews, guys, if you guys look at a Steam review and somebody reviewed the game with less than 10 hours of said game, especially if it's a strategy game, don't even look at it. I've got to say, guys, the Steam reviews are horrendously inaccurate. Why? Because the Steam community is a bunch of spastic fucking retards between the ages of 1 and 99 years old. So it's really a mixed bag. You gotta try everything for yourself. Watch a review, watch the gameplay, play a demo. Don't look at the Steam reviews for the most part. Alright guys, sorry, I'm fucking flying on pre-workout right now, and we're trying to get through this review here. So guys, as we can see, grid-based tactical party RPG. If you've played Fire Emblem and you liked it, you will like this game. There's similarities. This game does some things better than Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem does other things better. The point being, though, is Fire Emblem has been a franchise since before I was born. And this is just a game from, like I said, Backwater Studio, 137 followers on Steam, and they managed to fix some fucking glaring mistakes that Fire Emblem has. For example, for instance, in this game, if you're engaged with somebody, they can't fucking run around you in a circle, okay? That doesn't make sense in real life. If I'm squaring up with somebody, how can that guy who's in front of me run behind me and one-shot my archer? Doesn't make sense. In Fire Emblem, I've always noticed this to be a problem. Typically in a game like this, you have your melee fighter in the front and your archer in the back for support, or your mage or whatever. But in Fire Emblem, if you don't have the whole fucking, you don't have a lineup of guys, this guy in front of you is just gonna waltz around like you're not even there and one-shot your archer. That doesn't happen in this game, and that I noticed that's a big fucking problem in Fire Emblem, and I didn't even notice it was that big of a problem until I played this game and it didn't allow that bullshit to happen. This game has permadeath, but it's one of those games that even if your guy dies on the field, he'll still be inside of his cutscenes. Now, this is like half permadeath, and I don't like it. Some Fire Emblems, once that character's dead, they're out of the cutscene, they're out of the game. They no longer exist. They're fucking dead. But this game doesn't do that. To be honest, from recollection, I don't even think the newest Fire Emblem does that. I think that also there's not a true permadeath, so whatever. If you want to be hardcore, there's permadeath. It's more fun.
Not everyone.
So there's two parts to this game. Obviously the fighting, as you can see now, and then after the fights, you get to go to your camp. As the story develops, your camp develops. As the story goes on, you learn new classes, new abilities, new skills, new items, etc., etc. Same deal with Fire Emblem. My one complaint, though, that I have to say is the leveling progression is all over the fucking place. You start the game with a certain class, the next mission, you get to go up a class, then it's like 3 missions, you go up a class, and then it's like 20 chapters, and then you get to the high tier. Personally, to not play with permadeath. So yeah, that's that. So there's two parts to this game. Obviously the fighting, as you can see now, and then after the fights, you get to go to your camp. As the story develops, your camp develops. As the story goes on, you learn new classes, new abilities, new skills, new items, etc., etc. Same deal with Fire Emblem. My one complaint, though, that I have to say is the leveling progression is all over the fucking place. You start the game with a certain class, the next mission, you get to go up a class, then it's like 3 missions, you go up a class, and then it's like 20 chapters, and then you get to the high tier classes. It's all over the place, and it's not good because of that. The classes, though, are good. They're the classic wizard, archer, you know, berserker, more offensive melee character, more defensive melee character, etc., etc. You'll get it. It's pretty simplified here. Fire Emblem, it goes a little bit more in depth, and it has some special classes, which is cool. But like I said, guys, the point is that this game is extremely cheap. It's like $30 or something. It's not trying to be a full price game. I think this developer is just dipping his toes into this genre, and they did a really good job. It's not, guys, it's unfair to compare it to Fire Emblem, so you gotta walk into it giving this the benefit of the doubt. It's good for its price point. Is it Fire Emblem? No. But I can guarantee you one thing. If this studio makes another game with some more money and more support, I guarantee it will be better than Fire Emblem. Guarantee. Now, after the fights, you go into a camp setting, as I was saying. And this is where the game kind of has a hiccup, a misstep. It's a camp similar to Fire Emblem's school portion of the game where you're running around talking to everybody, but it's like you're running around and it's fucking stupid. So as I was saying before, after the fighting and before, you're in a camp situation, and this is where you get to run around, talk to your characters, do various little mini activities. This is where the game has a hiccup. Same exact shit with Fire Emblem. I don't know why they put this thing in the game. It's fucking stupid to just like run around. The only thing is though that I have to give credit to this game is you can fast travel to each person you want to talk to. So instead of in Fire Emblem where you had to painstakingly run to each person to talk to them, you can just quickly fucking find the person on the list, fast travel, bang out the conversation, move on. There's character development in this game, but there's only character development between you and a character, not like in Fire Emblem where there could be two NPCs that like get to know each other. It's not that in depth with the character development. I don't know if they're trying to go for that, but it's like friendship romance light. It's not exactly in depth like Fire Emblem, but it's there, and I'm sure they'll work on this through another game. The story, guys, who gives a fuck about the story? Honestly, I kind of followed Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem probably had a better story. This game, its story is there, but it's they took a unique approach to the same story that's been told a million times, i.e. a band of friends who are mercenaries end up getting dragged into a fantasy war and then they become heroes. The character, guys, off the bat, you're gonna think, holy fuck, this is the typical do-gooder douchebag, which is in every story. Naruto, One Piece, the generic I can't do anything wrong, I'm there to fight for freedom. But he actually does flesh out a little bit and becomes more believable. The characters are somewhat memorable, somewhat not. The story serves its purpose. It's not going to be the price point for the game, but it does what it needs to do. For me, guys, the games like this, it's the character development that pushes the game instead of the story, and the class system and the fighting, etc. Leveling up, becoming more powerful. I really could give a fuck less about the story if you're going to ask me. Which leads me to the final point, the gameplay. Gameplay, boys, mad fun. And you know, it's weird because we often don't take into consideration how fun a game is. Isn't that the point of playing games? The fun factor? This game is fun as fuck. For the price point, no complaints. It's a good game, guys. I can't say it's a 10 out of 10. You'll fucking never forget about this game for 30 years. But it's a good game for its price. I really would like to support this developer because I'd love to see a sequel. Because games like this keep the AAA studios accountable. It's super embarrassing when a fucking little indie developer can smoke a AAA fucking studio, and when they do better, the AAA studio starts to smarten up, and you know, competition breeds warriors. So anyways, my brothers, this is the end of the review. Assalamu alaikum. One other thing, guys, you know my videos are gonna get demonetized, so down below I've got my Patreon link. Support the red-blooded males and let's get it.